Here we go. Episode 45 of the Hardline Sports Talk. I am Michael Merlo. Along with me, I have John Michael Masiri. JM, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. We got a ton of stuff going down. I'm ready to unpack it all. And it's hot stove time.
It is really hot stove time, more than ever, more than it'll
Yeah.
probably ever be in baseball. I mean, we could literally spend I don't know about you. I could literally spend 3 hours on this episode
Oh
between
yeah, easily.
baseball. You had football yesterday. You got some drama with New York basketball, and I could do college football for probably like an hour.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to get to, and we're gonna start obviously with the baseball because that's what we love. That's what we know the best, and something that I just can't. I can't not stop smiling. I've been in the greatest mood all day. The New York Mets signed Max Scherzer to a 3-year, $130 million contract worth $43 million a year. That breaks the record for most money per year. I shocked, speechless, happy. I can't. It was my dream scenario and it happened, and I just can't believe it happened.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you have a right to have that big smile on your face. This is something that Mets fans have been dreaming about for decades, to have an owner who's willing to have that FU money and just go out there and bring these guys to the New York market like their crosstown rival, the Yankees, have been able to do for years. And the Mets are, Steve Cohen's trying to do his best George Steinbrenner impersonation, and he's doing a pretty good job of it, honestly. I mean, with the three signings they made a couple of days ago with Marte, Canna, and Escobar, and then with signing Scherzer now. And to be honest with you, I know it was your dream scenario. There were reports that came out on Sunday night about Scherzer going to the Mets, and at one point it seemed like it was basically just about to happen, but then they kind of cooled off a little bit, and it was like, hold on, there's still some things to be talked about. And I remember I was talking to you, and I got the same feeling you were getting. I was like, I don't know, man. Scott Boras, what he does with his clients, sometimes he'll just make stuff up to drive the price up, and that team will just be a puppet, basically. And that's what I thought it was going to be like. I thought this was, all right, Scherzer wants to go back to the Dodgers. Let's use the Mets, say, oh, they're going to give me $45 million or whatever they were talking about. And let me go back to the Dodgers, but he's a Met.
They got it done. It was a full court press. It was, excuse me. It was Steve Cohen. It was Alex Cohen, his wife. Obviously, Billy Epler was involved, and they got the wives involved. They got, Scherzer's wife involved with Alex Cohen, and Steve was talking to everybody. And obviously, Scott Boras is always involved. But, Max Scherzer is not a guy like Trevor Bauer, we were dealing with last season. This is a guy that, yes, of course, he wanted the most money possible, the most money on the table, which was $43 million. He was going to get the most money from the Mets. And yes, he's a union rep and he has to take the highest offer because that's what he believes in and that's what he preaches. But I don't think he makes this decision if he's not fully comfortable. And I feel like with Cohen, expressing his vision, expressing what he believes in this for this team and what's going to make this team successful over the years and how he wants to build it, like the Dodgers when they were first bought in 2013 or 14, when he lost out on buying the Dodgers. He sold this vision to Scherzer and he signed on board. This is a franchise-altering move. It really is, because you have all this money, and you saw last year he offered the money and not many people took it. The job was offered, the general manager job, the president of baseball operations job was offered. A lot of money obviously attached to that as well, and the opportunity to spend this money, and nobody wanted it. And now you're making this a destination. They have a lot to fix. I mean, they obviously need to fix the front office, more little things in the
depth. You need another bat, at least one more other bat, bullpen.
You're making this a desirable destination though, right? And that's what's key.
There's a long way to go for this Mets team. I mean, I don't think anybody's saying, besides the crazy ones, that, this deal puts them in the World Series. I mean, it's a great deal. You're getting a guy who is a multiple Cy Young winner, is proven that he'll play to his contract the way he did it in Washington. But yeah, there's definitely some more steps to be taken for this team. But what you need to celebrate is the this is not a Mets move, right? No. This is not a move where we're used to a Trevor Bauer move, which they didn't do, but like that's something the Mets would do. The Mets, if Fred Wilpon was still here and Steve Cohen wasn't the owner, I don't think they would have spent the money anyways because the Wilpons were cheap asses. But they might say, you know what? Let's do that big spend move, and it would be Trevor Bauer. It wouldn't be Max Scherzer. You know what I mean? Like,
it'd been screwed up somehow.
Max Scherzer is a no doubt first ballot Hall of Famer. He's won Cy Youngs in multiple leagues. He's had a 20 strikeout game. He's thrown a no hitter. Like, he is World Series champion. He is no doubt a stud. You bring a guy like that, a well-respected guy, to New York and outbid some teams. You're talking about the LA Dodgers. I mean, listen, Scherzer can come over here. The guy's nothing's ever a sure thing. He's 37 years old. He had some problems later in the year, some fatigue problems with the whole dead arm and everything like that. But this is about as close as you can get to a sure thing with Max Scherzer. And like you said, the Mets are now finally making moves where you're like, whoa, this feels different. We are not used to this at all. And it's good to see. Like, you compared it to the Dodgers. You want to instill that culture right away to show that you're not here to joke around, and this isn't just going to be some stupid way they run the organization and not the same old Mets BS.
And they did it, and they're doing it the same way the Dodgers did, where they have to build up the farm system. I mean, if you look at the Dodgers farm system, if you look at the Yankees farm system for the past few years, there is depth in every level, single A, double A, low A, triple A. There is depth. There are guys there. That's why these teams can make all these trades and develop players and have guys come up and be studs. Right. Look at Bellinger for a while, Lux, Will Smith, Judge, Sanchez for a little while.
Yeah.
You're going to bring up prospects. A couple of them are going to hit. And if they don't, okay. And then you're trading some. The Mets need to build up the farm system.
Right.
And they're doing that because they're not making dumb trades. They're making signings. They're spending money, which obviously the owner has. And it's a good thing. It's a good thing to see.
It's a statement move. It's a groundbreaking move. It's Steve Cohen. And listen, we talked about it. I kept saying the whole year, you can't get too much on Steve Cohen because although he did buy the team and he had an offseason last year, he really hasn't gotten the chance to really get his hands on this team and, put the product out there that he wants to do. And so far has been putting his money where his mouth is with letting go of certain guys and bringing in guys who are really good baseball players. And that's what Max Scherzer is. I mean, we haven't even talked about Marte and all those guys. Marte.
That's what I wanted to get to.
Marte's different. Marte's tough.
I love Marte.
What'd you say?
I don't love it because it's 4 years. I like the first year or two.
He's coming off maybe the best year of his career. He's 32 years old, 33 years old, something like that.
He's 33.
He's 33 years old. Center field, I don't know how long that's going to last. He won a Gold Glove, but not as a center fielder, as a left fielder. So
I want him in center.
What?
I want him in center.
You want him in center, right? The 4 years, it's a bit much, but yes. That's the thing in free agency. You gotta, no matter what, you're gonna overpay.
Yes.
And let's not get too wrapped up unless it was something outlandish. I'm not getting too wrapped up in the Mets giving an extra year to Starling Marte. If that's what it takes, $19 million. Like we said, you need to set the tone, and the Mets have, and proving that they're not going to be the same old Mets. Like, they're here to play with the big dogs. That's how you get it done. So I like that signing for them. Starling Marte is not going to be, this like feared hitter in the Mets lineup. He'll be a respected hitter, but he's not, going to scare the crap out of pitching staffs.
Good leadoff guy, or
Mark Canha, good guy who maybe is an everyday player for you. We'll see. And I like that Eduardo Escobar move. That's a guy who can play multiple positions. He's a switch hitter. He adds a lot of versatility for your lineup. So some pretty good moves to the Mets. I think I don't know how much money Steve Cohen's willing to spend. I mean, it seems like an infinite amount, but
Yes. Pretty scary.
I would say they definitely need one more bat. I think they should still be in on Bryant. I think they should still be in. I think it's pretty clear they're still in on Baez.
They
Maybe
need they
Castellanos, somebody else.
100% need another starter.
Yeah, they need another starter. But the point I was going to get to is you need another, maybe one more big signing on the offensive side. But then after that, you just got to start adding depth to this team.
Yeah.
And does that come with free agency? I mean, how many free agents can you sign? It comes with drafting. It comes with developing. It comes with that. Maybe even some trades. But, Rome wasn't built in a day. I don't think, we're going to expect them to all of a sudden form this World Series team in one off season. But they're going to try to get as close as they can. And they're off to a pretty good start.
I'm just looking at Marte's stats here. At a 5.5 Fangraphs WAR last year.
Yeah, that's excellent.
Which I do not expect this year, obviously.
Right.
It wouldn't shock me as he got older if the power numbers started to go up a little. He's a big guy. I could see the power numbers kind of going up a little bit. He's not really a big guy, but I don't know. I could see that where in the last couple of years, he's not the speedster that he was, but he's, hitting a couple more home runs. I don't mind the Marte thing. This is how I look at these three moves. Okay. They, instead of giving Michael Conforto, let's just say $100 million, right? Let's say they gave Michael Conforto 6 years, $100 million. Instead, what they did was they got three guys for $124 million,
right?
That are more versatile, better defenders, get on base more.
Yep.
And it's like, and obviously Marte, you got the stolen bases. I love the Canna and the Eduardo Escobar signing. Canna, I think could start every day. I would like if they added another outfielder just so that there's, like a solid fourth outfielder so that he's not, maybe he plays 120 games, not 150 games.
Right.
But I like that sign. He gets on base. And the identity I see now, what they're trying to do, unless they bring back Baez, but they have a lot of guys in this lineup that if you look at their strikeout rate, it's under the league average. And I feel like last year they had a lot of guys in that lineup. They struck out a ton. They couldn't move guys over. They couldn't hit with guys on base. Eduardo Escobar, Mark Canna, Starling Marte, all above average hitters with guys on base.
Right.
They move the ball over. They're not going to strike out.
That's what it seems like the formula is. Everybody tries to put their finger on what's the formula to have such a good offense and win the World Series. I think it's a mixture of everything. You got to be able to have some guys that are going to hit a home run in a big spot. Some guys who are going to, hit that single to drive in the guy from second base with 2 outs. You gotta find that balance. I think the Braves had that this year. I think that's a major piece of why they won the World Series. They had their big sluggers and your Jock Petersons and your Eddie Rosario was hitting the cover off the ball. And then you had your guys who came up and got some big hits for you, like Freddie Freeman and Dansby Swanson. You can't. I always think about the Twins when I think about this from 2018, 2019, when they lost to the Yankees. That team led the league in home runs, but they kind of were too home run dependent. They had Sano and Mitch Garver and Max Kepler hit a ton of home runs that year.
Yep.
You can't rely too much on the home run. It's great to have, if you want to give me 3 guys who are going to hit 35 plus bombs in my lineup, sign me up. But you also don't want to fill your lineup with a bunch of guys who are going to bat 220 and hit 35 home runs. So I like the way the Mets are doing it. They're trying to find that balance, and I think that it'll work. They're not there yet. They got a couple more pieces to add.
If they didn't, I just read something now. They're probably out on Baez just because he's getting a lot of interest with playing short, and obviously there's gonna be more money there. And the Mets weren't willing to go too high on him, which I'm happy with, to be honest with you. I'd be surprised if they added another bat via free agency. I think they'd make a trade. They have McNeil, Dom Smith, and JD Davis. I'm sure. I'm guessing at least 2 out of 3 of those guys are going to be dealt.
Yeah.
But they definitely need another pitcher. 100% need another starting pitcher, a 3 or a 4 type starter. They probably need one more pitcher just for depth. And then I'd like to see them add a lefty reliever, which is a need. The bullpen, I'm not too worried about just because it's so year to year. And Lugo had a down year and he was a little banged up. He'll get healthier. I think Lugo could be better. Trevor May, same thing. I mean, I thought May was fine last year. Again, I'd like to see an arm or two added, but I think they'll be fine in the pen. And that's always a position where you can add down the line as the season goes on.
Yeah.
I'm not, too worried about I am worried about getting depth in the starting rotation though.
I'm thinking for the Mets, if the depending on what happens in the CBA, I mean, I think it's basically a guarantee to everybody that the universal DH is going to be a thing. A guy that nobody really talks about, and it seems like he flies under the radar every single offseason because of his age, but why not take a shot at Nelson Cruz when, the CBA expires? You need a guy like that in your lineup, a feared hitter, a guy who can, have an OPS in the 900s. That's Nelson Cruz. So I wouldn't hate that for them.
No, don't forget about my boy coming back, Robbie Cano. We forget about him all the time.
Please stop.
He's back, my boy, Great. Robbie Cano. I think Cano is going to surprise people as long as you don't give him 500 at bats. I can see it. I can see it happening.
Okay.
I can see him having a nice year, off the bench. Super
we'll see. And maybe
DHing.
If he hops back on the juice, maybe.
Yeah, we need him on the juice. You know why? Get him on the juice, starts hitting a little bit, gets caught, done. That $25 million next year, no problem. He's suspended for life.
Thank you, Robinson.
It's a win-win. It's a win-win.
It is.
Somebody's got to put something in his drink. I'm kidding. That's illegal, guys.
Jesus Christ.
Can't be doing that. I think that's enough Met talk. Obviously, if something breaks, it's Monday night. They expect a lot of moves still to be made, so we'll see what happens. Something breaks, we'll let you know. Let's move on to another team that's spending a ton of money, more money. They've actually spent $500 million so far in the past 2 days, and that is the Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers Sunday night. Yeah. The Texas Rangers signed Marcus Semien to a 7-year, $175 million contract Sunday night. Then they not messing around, added John Gray to a 4-year, $56 million contract, who I wanted for the Mets. I know you wanted for the Yankees. Mm-hmm. He was a hot name. He ended up getting a lot more than I think people thought.
Yeah.
And then today they signed Corey Seager to a 10-year, $325 million contract.
Right.
Crazy. I mean, I knew they wanted to be aggressive. I didn't know they'd be so much in play for these big guys. I thought maybe Story.
Right. See, that's what I was just about to say. I remember when we did our prediction show, I had them getting Story and Conforto because that's what it kind of felt like to me. I thought they were going to end up spending, but kind of getting the consolation prizes, not which Story. I don't want to call him a consolation prize because there's also a possibility he's a Yankee. But well, at this point, actually, he's not Anderson Simmons. What am I talking about? But Story and Conforto, they weren't those headline guys for their positions. We're talking about Seager and Correa and Semien really for the middle infielders. And then for the outfield, you're thinking more Castellanos. And then, you could throw Brian in there. He's got outfield consideration. But yeah, I mean, out of nowhere, not only do they get Seager, they also get Semien, which I never saw coming. Honestly, I was more surprised from the Semien signing than the Seager signing. The only take I have on this is, or not the only take, the only criticism I have on this is the Seager signing makes sense to me. I get that one. The Semien one, I'm having a little bit of trouble wrapping my head around because I don't think this Rangers team, they're not going to be competing next year.
Right.
And, they have some prospects coming up and, it's going to take a little bit of a while. They're probably going to have to spend a little more next offseason and whatnot. But this doesn't seem like a quick turnaround. It seems like a bit of a long rebuild. And signing a 32-year-old free agent to a 7-year deal, you're going to hopefully be competing in his 34, 35-year-old plus season. So I don't get that completely. Giving him that much money. I'm guessing they're thinking he's going to age well, and I hope they're right. But that part doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
He hit 42 home runs last year. He broke the record for second baseman. I doubt you'll see that again. Like, I think he's going to be a productive player, a very productive player for them for, years. But you're right. I don't know how much I love that. I mean, it's low AAV, but 7 years is a lot. 7 years is a lot. And Seager, I saw people kind of surprised by this, and I texted you. I said I think Seager's going to get 10 years, 280. Just because I thought like people chilled out a little bit on the market of Seager and Correa. Maybe it was coming down a little bit. Clearly not. I was wrong. He's that talented. I mean, he's that much. Yeah. And Jeff Passan predicted, a month or two ago, he said, how much do you, on the Michael K show, he said, how much do you think Seager's going to get? And he said $330 million. He was right there.
Yeah.
So it's not really that surprising. Surprised the Rangers. But,
I know you never
showing a willingness to spend.
Yeah. I mean, Seager is a guy who has really impressive offensive numbers for especially a position where it's hard to find that. I mean, the shortstops in the MLB right now, this is like unbelievable. We've never seen so many great offensive shortstops, but you didn't really see 325, in my opinion, coming here. And Seager's a really talented player, but he's defensively bottom of the barrel in the league at shortstop. He's a below average defender there, and he's had health issues. So, those are two things that are red flags. But the upside here is he's 27 years old. He could be getting even better. He can be moving to third base too, like his brother Kyle. He's a big guy. I think he will move there eventually. How soon does it happen? Who knows?
I agree with you.
But Corey Seager is a very talented player, but there are some question marks there. But I like this signing for the Rangers. You got to lock up a guy that you want to build around for a little bit. And that's what Corey Seager is. Did I get his age wrong? I just want to make sure on that.
I think most positive he's 27.
Yeah.
He's 27.
Yeah, so that's young for free agency.
What's Correa?
Correa, I think, is the same thing.
Correa's 27. Yeah, he's 27. See, he'll be 28 when the season starts.
Yeah.
In April. That's Seager.
Story's 30. The Story's 29, I think.
Oh, wow. Correa just turned 27 in September. Sheesh.
Yeah, Story's 29. That's what I was getting confused with. But yeah, I'm happy to see all the not small market team. I don't want to call them that. Just the bad team spending money. You think about the Mariners and the Rangers. That's the AL West.
The Mets for the last 5 years.
Yeah, the Mets for that. Yeah. It's good to see. That's the way it is in football. Usually it's the bad team spending the money. I mean, free agency is different in football. There's usually not a lot of premium free agents out there. But it's good to see these people competing. It's good to see, even though, my favorite team is one of those big market, big spending, good teams in the Yankees. It's good to see not just the Yankees, the Dodgers, the Red Sox, and the Giants and spending money on everybody.
Before we get to the Yankees, because we're obviously going to talk about them, Robbie Ray, like you mentioned, small market team, he agreed to a contract with the Seattle Mariners, who are expected to be aggressive this offseason. 5 years, $115 million, opt out after the third year for Ray, who will be 33 when that opt out comes around. He just won the AL Cy Young, obviously, and he gets a nice payday, and that opt out's big. Comparing it to Kevin Gausman, who's a couple of years older than him, he got 5 years, 110, no opt outs with the Blue Jays. So with the Mariners are involved with a lot of players here. They are the favorites to get both Baez and Bryant right now. They're looked at as the favorite. So I'm guessing one of them they'll get, and then obviously they'll fall out of the other one, but they're in on both of them. Baez expected to sign tonight. Bryant, not so much. Bryant's expected to sign after the lockout.
Right.
But listen, you're right. I love the fact the Mariners, who are a game out, from making the AL wild card last year, they're being aggressive. They sign a big time pitcher. I almost guarantee they're going to sign a big time, infielder here.
Yeah.
And it's good to see these smaller market teams. I think the Mariners have the longest playoff drought in North American sports.
They do. Yeah.
20
Like
20
20
something
years or
years.
something like that. 2001, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm I'm confused, honestly, from the starting pitching market because the Robbie Ray signing, that's great for the Mariners. I just want to throw that out there. Getting the reigning Cy Young guy, even like I get, like he probably will never have that great of a season again, but we don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. He could end up being, the best pitcher in the MLB for the next 5 years. But getting that for 22 million or whatever it was, that's pretty good. The reason why I'm confused right now is I don't get how he gets that. And then you see Kevin Gausman getting basically the same contract. And on top of that, going to the team that had Robbie Ray. They must not be big believers in Robbie Ray or be big believers in Kevin Gausman, one or the other, because that's a bit of a head scratcher for me.
I didn't think of it like that. You're right. And they had an offer out, clearly, the Blue Jays for him. The Mets offered him more money, Gausman. He decided to take the money from Toronto. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
Where they took Gausman and then Ray goes to, they could have gotten Ray. It never clicked.
Listen, it's not in a vacuum. There's probably a couple factors that happen, and who knows if the relationship was bad with Ray or his agent or whatever. But I would throw more money at Robbie Ray than Kevin Gausman.
I was going to say, who would you rather have? Same price.
Yeah. Robbie Ray. Give me the freaking Cy Young.
Yeah. It's a good deal for the Mariners.
And then you got Max Scherzer getting, Brinks trucks to his house.
Yeah, more than that in 2 less years.
Yeah, getting liquid gold like coming out of his freaking refrigerator.
And even Eduardo Rodriguez, who signed very early, he got a nice deal. 5 years, almost $80 million.
Yeah.
The starting pitching market is hot right now.
Yeah.
And Gray, who I wanted as a 3 or 4 starter for the Mets, that would have never worked out. He got paid almost $60 million.
I know.
It's crazy how the starting pitching market went. And who's left? No. Oh, clown show, Marcus Stroman.
Carlos Rodon,
his market's very interesting. I would love if the Mets signed him. Or what's Kikuchi? What's his first name?
You say Kikuchi?
Yeah, I'd like him.
Yeah.
So you got some mid-level
Kershaw.
Guys. I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah.
Is there any way they don't sign him? The Dodgers?
I don't think so. I think especially now that they lost out on Scherzer and then Seager's gone, I think they
have to bring him back.
Yeah.
They'll bring back Kershaw. They're signing Daniel Hudson from the Nationals, but they're losing Knebel. I think the Phillies are going to sign Knebel. I think
Conforto ends up in Philly.
So do I. The one thing I don't want, and the one thing I just prayed to the baseball gods for 48 hours. The next thing I would pray to the baseball gods about is I don't care. Conforto go over there. I don't give a crap about Conforto. I would like if he didn't go there, but it doesn't bother me. If Kyle Schwarber ends up in Philadelphia, I will have a fit. I will have a legitimate fit. Because that man destroyed the Mets last year. Annihilated them. Mm-hmm. I've never seen a guy hit more home runs in such a short span against one team. Then when he gets traded to the American League, the Mets go to Boston and he proceeds to hit 3 home runs in a 2-game series. So it's clear there's clearly something there.
Something about those blue and orange jerseys that just drives him crazy, I guess, because
if he goes to Philadelphia, I can already envision him hitting nukes in Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah. So, him and Harper just going back to back all day.
That can't happen. That cannot happen. And they're interested in him. So it's going to happen. But
Phillies, I feel like the Phillies just need so much. They should just go out and sign like 10 pitchers. Because
Phillies I thought the Phillies after last season, it was never going to happen. They should have went like rebuild mode because they had like 3 good players on big contracts and everything else was crap. So it's either you're going to go rebuild at that point or you got to go blow past a luxury tax and try and win. Right. And they weren't doing that. I don't think they're trying to do that this year. So what are you doing?
Yeah. Half pregnant, one or the other. Figure it out.
Exactly. That's like the slogan now. Half pregnant. Make
Yeah.
a T-shirt that says "I'm half pregnant."
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, have we got it all covered here? I mean, the Yankees is obviously a topic we're going to talk about, but
we got to talk about the Yankees really quickly. The Phillies are also talking to Nick Castellanos.
yeah,
Sign
so
him for crying out loud.
it's heating up. I'm expecting some sort of signing to happen before we end this episode because the CBA is going to start getting negotiated on December 1st, and they're going to want to get every signing in before then. But really, what? December 2nd. But really before tomorrow, honestly, because they're going to want to get the medicals in and everything straightened out before they start negotiating. And there's expected basically a guarantee to be a lockout. How long will the lockout be? Who knows? We know how the players union and the MLB go back and forth with each other, but fingers crossed. I'm just hoping it's over in time for free agency to reopen, teams to get their rosters in order, and we have opening day baseball on April 1st or March 30th or whatever the hell they're doing this year. But I know Brian Cashman is still sleeping outside Yankee Stadium or whatever he's doing. But I have a lot of takes on the Yankees. And I kind of want to hear, I haven't discussed any of them with you, and I kind of want to hear your input. So
yeah, let's go. Let's do it. So I was just reading something about Baez.
So basically, the deal with the Yankees right now is obviously they were connected to Seager a lot. I mean, you predicted them to get Seager. I thought they were going to get Seager. That seemed like the player they were in love with kind of thing. That ownership really liked. I mean, we've been hearing about Hal Steinbrenner loving Corey Seager for a year now. And they lost out on Seager, obviously. You know, I wanted John Gray. John Gray's gone. They were connected to Verlander. Verlander went to Houston. They even had connections to Starling Marte, who went to the Mets. Semien, whoever. Robbie Ray, his name was getting thrown around there. We haven't really heard a peep from the Yankees. And at first I'm like, this is really bad. What the hell's going on? Are we really about to have one of these off seasons where, you know, ownership or Cashman is really stubborn and they think, oh, this team just needs a minor tweaking and whatever. To me, they're being too quiet in a good way for Yankee fans, because I would be more concerned if they were going out there and, oh, we lost out on Corey Seager because, you know, the Yankees weren't willing to go that extra year, give them 20 more million or whatever. We didn't really hear that. All we heard was the Dodgers trying to re-sign Seager. Rangers are making a big push. Never heard of people about the Yankees. So my take on everything is you haven't heard anything from the Yankees. You haven't heard anything about Carlos Correa. You haven't heard anything much about Trevor Story. I mean, maybe the Rockies got thrown in there today, just whatever. I'm thinking the Yankees have their plan. They've figured it out, hopefully. I don't know if this is a coping mechanism or what it is, but I think they have their plan. They've figured it out. Is it one of those shortstops? Who knows? Is it Andrelton freaking Simmons? Who knows? But I think you're going to see them being very active in the trade market. I think the Matt Olson thing is
real.
Very real. We saw it with Gallo last year. The Yankees were linked to Gallo the whole year, and they ended up trading for him. But what everybody kind of forgets is that trade deadline last year. Everybody was talking about Joey Gallo. And then Anthony Rizzo was never even thought of, honestly, with the Yankees. It was him to the Red Sox or him to wherever. And the next thing you know, Cashman trades for Rizzo. So Cashman and the Yankees have that way where they get quiet, they get sneaky, and they pull some deals. So I'm not going to panic yet. I'm not going to go crazy. I am trying to be as patient as possible. It's frustrating, especially when you see the team who's also in your market spending all the money in the world. But I think the Yankees got something brewing here.
I got a weird feeling about this. I think the Yankees are going to sign Correa. That as of right now, I think that's the guy they go get. It makes too much sense.
Right.
I've been saying it for weeks now. The Yankees need a bad boy. They need somebody that's got an attitude like screw everybody. They have too many nice guys.
As much as I love Aaron Judge, I
like Aaron Judge. He's a nice guy. I don't want to like Aaron Judge.
Right.
He's a star player on the Yankees. You're supposed to hate him. I don't. I can't. Just like Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. I want to hate Dak Prescott.
Right.
But he seems like such a genuine guy. Great guy. I like Dak.
Right.
There's
gotta bring
nobody
that
on the
swagger
Yankees that's
back.
like that. They need that swagger. They need this. Correa was never going to sign before the CBA lockout. So that was always going to happen after. Maybe that's why you haven't heard from the Yankees. I thought maybe Story, but you're right. You heard absolutely nothing from this team. Nothing. I don't think they don't have a plan. Of course they have a plan. I've heard people all day. Oh, the Yankees don't have a plan. Of course the Yankees have a plan. Now they didn't really get close with Olsen. I saw that all day. They never even exchanged names with the A's.
Right.
So I don't think that's close, but I think you're right. I mean, they were on Joey Gallo for so long, and it was obvious. They made it obvious. They still made the trade. Seems obvious they really like Olsen. Seems really obvious that it's a need. I think they go get Olsen. So I think Olsen, one of those pitchers from the A's, and Correa are Yankees. That's my prediction.
I mean, if we want to get weird here and just pull some guys out of the back pocket, I wouldn't shut down Kyle Schwarber either.
Please take him. Take him.
I could see, Hal Steinbrenner and whoever's saying, bring that guy to Yankee Stadium.
You're DHing him, right? You're not playing him in the field.
You could DH him. They tried playing him at first base. I don't know.
That dude was put on this planet to do one thing: hit home runs.
Yeah.
Anything else in baseball? Not good.
But
that's not bad. How could you not like that?
It's frustrating. The Yankees. I don't know how to trust this front office. Honestly, it's scary.
I'm from an outsider's view. I would trust Brian Cashman. I mean,
yeah, but the way this whole past season went, and I can't deal with the emotional roller coaster anymore. It really is just too much to handle.
What are they have the big signing? They're going to have to go past the luxury tax, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's basically, unless it's Hal Steinbrenner, don't go past the luxury tax, Brian. Let's sign Brett Gardner to a 1 year, $3 million deal. And
what would you do if tonight the two deals are Brett Gardner and Eldridge Simmons?
Yeah. Well, no, we got Jose Peraza too. We signed him to a minor league deal, so don't.
I'm actually pissed about that.
Don't.
I like Jose Peraza.
Yeah, don't sell us short on that. Come on.
No, that's a nice depth move right there. I would have liked
Great,
Jose
everybody.
Peraza.
Let's go, Brian. Figure it out. I want everybody gone that is not gonna, be an MVP candidate. Luke Voigt, gone. Gio, gone. Aaron Hicks.
You got to pay somebody to take him.
When I tell you the anger I will feel if I look at a Yankees opening day line, if you just put me in a coma right now, woke me up on April 1st and was like, oh, you want to see the Yankees lineup today? If I see Aaron Hicks penciled in that lineup, it's not going to be pretty.
What is like your ideal lineup? April, whatever. It's not April 1st. It's like March 30th.
Like my realistic ideal lineup.
Like you wake up, you're up from the coma. It's 11:30. Aaron Boone wrote the lineup. What is it?
All right, I'm going to try and keep this as realistic, but also stupid as possible.
Don't not even lineup. Just give me positions. I'm gonna write it down.
All right, catcher. I'll be realistic here. I'll say we bring Gary back.
Okay.
Which apparently the Mets are listening on Gary now. I don't know what the hell that was about.
No.
First base Matt Olson.
Cole. Okay.
Second base DJ LeMahieu.
Okay.
Shortstop Correa.
Ooh, wow.
Actually, okay, switch LeMahieu to third. Put Glaber to second.
Oh, wait, what?
LeMahieu's at third, Glaber's at second. Correa's at short. Left field.
There's one answer.
All right, I'm going to get crazier. Left field, Gallo.
Okay.
Center field, Chris Taylor.
I saw them with Chris Taylor.
Right field, Judge, DH Stanton. That would be like an insane lineup, like, Death Star, $300 million payroll. Let's do it. Screw it. George Steinbrenner has been revived kind of lineup.
All right. Just spell Judge's name with an L and a P. All right.
Good.
So Wow, this is I don't know if this is realistic.
Yeah.
I mean, hold on. Let's just go through the money here, okay? Taylor's getting 20 million plus, right? He rejected the qualifying offer. Let's say he gets 3 years 60. So that'd be 20 million, right?
Mm,
Is that fair?
yeah.
Correa, what's Correa getting? Can I slot him in for Lindor's contract? 34 a
Shit.
year.
Yeah, I guess so.
So that's 64 million.
Hold on. I'm Hal Steinbrenner. Let me see if I can find some spare change in my pocket. Oh, I got a crumpled up 100 in my pocket. Come on.
Well, as he calls Steve Cohen, I'm sure he's got
Yeah.
money laying around.
You're charging $15 for a Bud Light. You think I can't get freaking all these guys? Give me a break.
Like, God forbid. What's Olsen making? Nothing, right?
Yeah, but then they're gonna have to extend it. Oh, and you have to extend Aaron Judge.
Oh, we're not doing that yet. If you're dishing out 20 million for Taylor and 34 for Correa, we're not extending Judge yet.
The average payroll for each position is gonna be like $25 million.
Oh my God. So
Fine.
JM's realistic opening day lineup when he wakes up from his coma is the Death Star lineup, which has the Yankees adding almost $70 million in payroll just in the starting lineup.
Yeah, like 70 WAR in the lineup. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something. You're speaking of contracts, I forgot to mention this. And we talked about it last night. So how does this work when like you just hand somebody a blank check? You think that's what Steve Cohen's gonna have to do with DeGrom? I think literally you're throwing $40 million a year at Bauer, and now you're throwing $43 million at Scherzer. It's like, holy crap.
Take it, please. Sign here.
What do you want? Okay, good.
I don't think the Mets care about their international signing money and, their compensation picks. Who gives a crap?
Better. I want those in it. You want those young guys.
Luxury tax, freaking penalties, slap on the wrist. Give me a break.
I mean, yeah. When you're that rich, I mean, gives a crap. What else I feel like we're missing something. What are we missing?
With baseball, we talked about the CBA. We talked about the signings. There were a couple trades, the Adam Frazier trade, Jacob Stallings.
Hold on one second. I think AJ Preller is the most overrated executive in baseball.
Really?
Yeah, I do. He's aggressive.
Just because he makes noise.
He's aggressive. He makes noise, and you got to respect that. He's very, he tries, he goes for it, almost every year when he can. But it hasn't really worked. I'm not gonna kill him yet for Darvish or Snell. I give that a year. He gave up nothing for Clevenger, who he knew was coming in on an injury, so we'll see how that works out. But did he signed Hosmer, correct? That was a big contract.
I can't confirm that. I don't know.
I think he did because he was there when they traded for Upton. No,
I'd have to look it up.
I think he was there when they traded for Kimbrel and Upton.
Where'd they take him? Was he from the Dodgers?
Preller?
Yeah.
I don't even remember. Let's see. AJ Preller.
He worked for the Dodgers in 2000. He came from the Rangers.
Yes, that's right.
But he was with the Dodgers for a brief stint.
He's been there since 2014.
Yeah.
So yes, he's made some good moves to acquire, he made the
Tatis trade
signing. Yeah, the Tatis trade.
Yeah.
He brought in Trent Grisham for nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, the Joe Musgrove trade was pretty good. He's built a really nice farm system. But when he goes out and spends the money or makes the trades, has not been good.
I know.
And my whole point, connecting this to Adam Frazier. Adam Frazier was an all-star last year.
Yeah.
Batting 300 was, the best contact hitter in all baseball. He led the league in hits. Goes over there, can't find a role for him. And he ended up batting 200.
Yeah.
And they couldn't find a spot for him.
Right. I mean,
bad trade. And they gave up a nice amount. Yeah. They gave up a nice amount and they just traded him to the Mariners and they got nothing for him.
No, they didn't get much for him. I like what the Mariners have been doing so far.
So do I. And I think when they get Baez or Bryant, they're setting themselves up nicely.
Or both.
Could they do that? Baez gonna get paid a lot of money. I'll tell you right now. I think Baez is gonna be like 7 years, 6 years, 200 something million, 200, 220.
You think Red Sox?
I love it for them. I would. I think we talked. I think we talked about this privately. I would stick him at short, and I'd move Bogarts over to second.
Right.
He's obviously a great shortstop. That to me, that makes the most sense.
Watch the Yankees get it on him. I don't know. This could get really weird. We'll
Baez?
see. I'm scared for the next time we record what has happened. I mean, obviously, this is supposed to end pretty soon.
What's going to happen?
What?
I don't think much more is going to happen.
I think you might be right, but the way things have been going, I don't know how much I could trust that. I know that this window is closing for signings, but
because you got to get it finalized and you got to get the physical done for December, for Wednesday at midnight.
Yeah. See, if I was one of these guys, I know it's easier said than done, but I would want to get signed before this thing.
Yes.
The like anxiety and just impatience I would have over this, however long this break is going to be, it would be like too much for me. I just like to have my money, know where I'm going, know my teammates, get ready for the season, and be done with it.
Yeah, unless I'm like a Correa, unless I'm like one of these big guys,
right?
I think Correa waiting is probably a good thing.
Yeah, I heard a proposal from one of my friends talking about in some fantasy world how the MLB free agency could go. I mean, this is extremely unrealistic, but it's a fun idea. Could you imagine if it was like each free agent gets like an hour? And it's like, all right, next up, Marcus Semien. Every team is calling Marcus Semien and his agent being like, this is our offer. This is our offer. Like and then like at the buzzer, you're just like, all right, I'm signing here. Like, could you imagine how crazy that would get?
Yeah. Wow.
It's nuts.
That is a lot to handle.
Yeah.
Imagine making a decision like that though. Cause I'm just relating
it
to like
it's so unrealistic, but it would be sick. Like,
but I'm relating it to these college football coaches right now, JM, that are coaching their team. And Lincoln Riley said he got a call Saturday night and the thing was done Sunday morning. If I'm going to believe him, he's on the phone all night with him and he made a decision like that to completely change his life and his family's life in less than 12 hours. So that's kind of the same thing. Imagine that. That's crazy.
Did you see Brian Kelly basically texted the Notre Dame guys and were like, hey, by the way, I can't really make it in person, but like I'm the LSU coach and I'm on a flight right now. Like, see you later. Basically what he said.
Yeah. And he literally didn't say anything. A recruiter, one of the assistant coaches, went to a recruit's house.
Yeah.
And was recruiting him, left, went on his phone, and saw Brian Kelly was leaving. And he's like, I look like the biggest asshole right now.
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
No, but what's his face? Oklahoma has their quarterback decommitted.
The Rattler decommitted.
Rattler entered the transfer portal. The 2023 commit apparently decommitted because of and is trying to go to USC now.
They had a ton of kids decommit, like a bunch of 3, 4, and 5.
All right, let's save this for the next time when we talk about football. But there's some crazy stuff going on with college football. It's like it's gonna mess up the NFL too, apparently. But wow, let's leave it as a cliffhanger for the next segment.
And Lincoln Riley's haul on top of the money. Wait till I read this to you. What he got from the USA. We'll take a quick break. Here we go. We are back. The Hardline Sports Talk, episode 45. I am Michael Merlo, John Michael Masiri, along with me. Let's continue. We were teasing with before the break. We were just, we're going to get to the NFL in a minute. We were going over the college football, the coaching carousel, how this is going to affect the NFL. You teased that. And you had a massive game on Saturday in which, it hasn't happened in 10 years. Michigan beats Ohio State.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What was that thing you want to tease about the NFL, please?
We got some links to some college programs. Lincoln Riley, we said, is out. He's going to USC. He's snaking. And there's been some rumors now with Cliff Kingsbury out of nowhere, him rumored, who used to work at USC, him rumored going to Oklahoma. And apparently they're going to throw the bag at this guy. And he hasn't like shut it down. So, I mean, that would be an absolute shock, from going to your team's has the possibility of winning the Super Bowl this year. But, we see with these college football coaches, they're gods. They're not just coaches, they're GMs, they're freaking recruiters. They're everything. So these schools throw a lot of money at these coaches, more than NFL teams do. So from a money standpoint, Cliff Kingsbury can do it. Personally, I think it's a little, I don't want to call it disgusting, but it's a bit disgusting the way this whole thing is going, where these college coaches are just jumping ship and going to other programs. And, they're saying Urban Meyer is going to coach whoever, Notre Dame. And
that's my prediction.
Yeah, I don't.
Urban Meyer leaves the Jags and coaches Notre Dame. In 2010, his wife called it his dream job.
You just don't do that, though.
It's not morally right.
Especially the NFL ones. All right. I'm not, that's not horrible, but the college ones, leaving those programs, and, you got kids, decommitting, and
because they wanted to go play for you, because you recruited them. They trusted you to get them to your team.
Exactly. Kids who have come to your program in the hopes of you making them better football players, better men, getting them to the NFL, and now you leaving and kind of just leaving them there to be like, all right, well, you're on your own. So I don't like that. That leaves a bit of a bad taste in my mouth, but it does provide for some entertainment.
Really quickly, Lincoln Riley, who I believe is one of the 3 best coaches in college football. I think this guy can coach anywhere. I think if you put him in the NFL, he'd be very easily a top head coach in the league. I strongly, I've believed this for a couple of years now. I stand by it. He will have USC back in 3 years. In 3 years, this team will be competing for a college football playoff. You watch, they'll be in a bowl game next year. Lincoln Riley, contract details. This is from, I saw this. I keep seeing it floating around now. You ready for this?
Yeah.
$110 million, I think, for 10 years. USC is buying both his homes in Norman for $500,000 over the asking price. So a $1 million bonus. They are then going to buy him a $6 million home in LA. I saw something about taxes. I don't know how true that is in LA. They're covering the I don't know what the hell is going on there. This is another one. Unlimited use of the private jet 24/7 for family.
How is this like allowed? The NCAA, I can't stand them.
I've always said it. They're the most corrupt organization.
They are so corrupt. So you're telling me these, you know why these schools have so much freaking money to throw around at these guys? Because you have these otherworldly talented players playing in these huge games with hundreds of thousands of people and then millions of people watching on TV, just for them to not make anything off of that, which now they're so generous, these college football players could do a freaking Papa John's commercial or whatever. and these college coaches are, here's the jet. Here, bang my wife. You could like, come on. Here's the bank account number. Take whatever you want. Buying his houses.
Right? How crazy is that?
I mean, that's a little unethical and morally wrong. I mean, the Full House lady pays $500,000 for her kid to get into USC and she goes to jail, which rightfully so. But then, you're buying houses and use my private jet as much as you want to get a coach to coach your football team, and that's okay. To take him from another program too. I don't like that.
How crazy is this? Lincoln Riley sat after the Oklahoma State game on Saturday night. He sat there, looked the reporters in the eyes, and said, "I am not taking the LSU job," because that was a rumor, LSU. And not even, what is it, 12 hours later, it comes out he's taking the Oklahoma job.
Yeah.
I mean, the USC job. And
He was being honest.
He was honest, but he
Yeah.
claimed that they didn't call, which this is bogus. I mentioned this before. He claims they called him after the press conference.
No way.
This has been going on for a while. They've been courting him for a while. You don't make a decision like this in 12 hours. Come on. Brian Kelly's apparently getting like 10 years, $15 million per year with LSU.
That's not like legally bad. Like, that's not illegal or anything like that.
It happens all the time.
Isn't that like a bribe that they're going to buy his house over the market value? Like,
I think it's part of the I don't know. I don't know. They do whatever they want.
that just shows the disgusting amount of money that these colleges have.
Yeah, private jet, whenever the hell you want. They had a big press conference today at USC over, on like this nice balcony. They had the trumpets out. They had the band there, family all there. And I don't know if you saw this video. The Oklahoma, Lincoln Riley took a couple of coordinators, some strength coaches, another coach with him from Oklahoma. You need to see this video. They are sneaking out of Oklahoma on Sunday night. Yeah, Sunday night. Like they just completed a heist, and they have to get out quietly.
Yeah, they robbed the casino and they're on their way out.
Yeah, pitch black. Trucks, the tinted windows, they're getting out of the truck, they're going on to the private jet, and then you see them getting off the private jet in USC gear. It's unbelievable. It's crazy.
That's something else.
And like we said, Brian Kelly's going over to LSU, and it gets crazy off the field. On the field, it's going to be even crazier. You got championship weekend. Michigan is going to play Iowa. They're going to see if they can get in. Michigan wins, they're in. Cincinnati beats Houston. They're in as an undefeated team. By the way, the head coach, Luke Fickell at Cincinnati, could most likely be the favorite to land the Notre Dame job as well.
Yeah.
And then Alabama, Georgia. So we'll see what happens there. It's going to be madness. Oklahoma State could possibly get in too if they beat Baylor and you get a loss. It's a good year
for college football. I like the way things have been going, honestly.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It'll be madness on Saturday. And we'll see what happens. All right, let's get into the NFL because it's madness, every Sunday there. Every Thursday, every Monday. We just had the game end. Monday night, the Washington football team beat the Seattle Seahawks by 2. You had a nice clutch victory in fantasy to clinch a 1 seed. Congratulations.
Yeah, and do you know the Seahawks jumped the Jets in the draft order tonight? They went from 5 to 4 and moved the Jets down to 5.
But must be crying.
So actually, no, technically we just jumped ourselves.
Right.
We have the Seahawks pick.
Yeah.
But good. Thanks. You 2 first-round picks for Jamal Adams, who goes, oh, here, J.D. McKissick. Give me your hand. Give me your hand. This is the end zone. Let me
walk in.
Yeah. Come on in.
He is terrible. He is so freaking bad.
Yeah.
Where do we want to start here? Let's start with the Packers and the Rams. Played in Green Bay. The Packers did beat the Rams. All these rumors about, before the game, Matt Stafford's banged up. I don't care.
Yeah.
Your brother said it. If he's not on the injury report, I don't care. Right.
Which he probably should have been on the injury report, and that's a little fishy in the first place.
He hasn't looked good. The team hasn't looked good in a month now. They had the 3 games they lost, the 49ers, Titans, and now Packers in the bye. They haven't won in almost a month.
Yeah.
They beat up on bad teams. They're not beating the good teams. And the Packers, listen, I felt like this game should have been closer if Sean McVay didn't have like 3 brain farts.
Yeah.
And Matthew
handing it off on 3rd and 1 with no timeouts.
Yeah. That's just part of it. That's not even the worst thing they did, though. The going for it, giving them 3 points. Yep. Matthew Stafford handing them a pick 6. Russell Douglas a pick 6.
Almost 2.
So, yeah. It's just bad decisions overall. Again, Stafford banged up. And
the Packers are the team to beat. That's the bottom line. The Packers are showing they're the best team in the NFL. Come beat us. Their biggest competition right now, I would say, for the 1 seed is the Cardinals. They beat them. Then it's the Rams. beat them, and it's the Bucs. I don't know if they match up with the Bucs this year, but right now they're top of the NFC, and now they're hitting the bye week. They're getting guys healthier. They're hopefully gonna get David Bakhtiari back at some point this season. But that Packers defense just continues to impress week after week.
And without Jair Alexander, without Zadarius Smith, hopefully they're getting those guys back too.
I'll tell you something, dude. AJ Dillon, that guy he's freaking good. He's tough to bring down. I mean, there were moments yesterday, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, whatever. He would get hit 2 yards behind the first down marker. He'd fall 3 yards past it. Like, he just falls forward, keeps his legs churning. He's a big dude.
He looks like an old school running back.
Yeah.
But he works. It's great. They have a great 1-2 combo. Jones came back from an injury yesterday, but Dillon, the second-year guy out of Boston College, he looks he looks like a beast. And you're right. I think they're the best. I think we'll do our power rankings this week. They're at 1 for me.
Yep.
They're finally at 1 for me. I hadn't have at 1 yet.
Took you long enough.
They're 1 now.
Yep.
Patriots 2 though. Patriots are close to. No, I'm kidding.
Patriots might crack into the top 5 though. They are freaking good.
No, they're 2 for me. They're 2 for me.
Oh, you're being serious?
They're 2.
Okay, so
I said, I know I was joking. Like, I should have said they're close to 1.
Yeah,
that was a joke. That was a joke.
Bit much.
That's the joke. I have them as the second best team.
I don't get. Right, come on, the second you're gonna do that already?
Yes.
I mean, I get it. I'm giving them their respects. They definitely deserve.
You called me crazy 2 weeks ago when I said they could challenge the Bills.
Yeah.
And now they're the 2 seed.
I did say that. But over the Bills, over the Bucs, even over the Rams. I know the Rams had a bit, lost, but the Rams or the Cardinals.
Oh yeah, over all of them. All right. They don't turn the ball over. Mac Jones is safe with the ball. You see Mac Jones throws the most catchable ball. You see that stat? The most catchable ball out of any quarterback in the league, 85% catchable ball. I don't know how they do that. Okay. Whatever. Throws a nice, easy ball. Not turning it over. He's very accurate.
They've been winning.
They run the ball very well. They have a good offensive line. They're protecting him. They're turning you over and they're controlling the clock.
Give me a Patriots statement win. And I'm all in on them being a top 3 team in football.
Okay, so blowing out the Browns, and they were
come on, healthier. The Browns suck.
All right.
The Titans, no Henry, Julio, or AJ Brown. A lot of banged up guys on that offense.
Beat them by 20. Okay.
Let me see them play the Bills, win
Monday Night Football. Next Monday Night Football.
Let me see them win that game. I'm all in.
Do you want to hear a bold prediction? In Buffalo, I think they win by a touchdown. They are going to win that game by at least a touchdown.
We'll see. Their defense, the Bills and the Patriots both have the 2 best pass defenses in the NFL, by far.
Yeah.
Their passer rating allowed, the Bills are at 62. The Patriots are at 71, I think. And then the next best team has 80. And then it's 80, 81, 82, 83. They just separate themselves from the rest of the pack by far. JC
Jackson. Didn't JC Jackson get what's the term? They kind of released him. I don't even know what it was. It's a second round pick. They waived him and brought him, something like that. They were getting rid of him and they
tendered him. One of those
tendered him. Yes. And
I've been a fan of sports for freaking I don't even know 12 years now. Since I was 8 years. I still don't know what tendered means.
Neither do I.
I've tried to wrap my head around it.
Chicken tender.
It took me a couple years to figure out what DFAing was in baseball. I finally got that down, but the rest, I don't know.
Yeah, it's, especially the NFL's crazy. They got some weird crap there. But
I'll tell you what was one of my favorite games of the week. I don't know if you had more points on the Patriots, but
no. Listen, we're definitely. We're gonna get to them obviously after they play the Bills.
As I'm watching the Colts Bucs game, I'm I never realized this is a really good matchup in general. And it was a really good game. The Colts, man, me and you, I love me some Carson Wentz. He was
Carson Wentz.
He was playing great yesterday. Good for him. I'm so tired of everybody slandering this guy after he has only basically one like bad year, and everybody just wants to throw him under the bus. Oh, he sucks.
One bad year, and it was a terrible year.
Yeah,
but it was only one.
But let's not act like this guy wasn't the MVP 4 years ago. You know, the front runner for the MVP. He got hurt. Jonathan Taylor's dog, Frank Reich. You know, people were questioning, him not giving the ball to Taylor at the end of the second quarter there. I wasn't hating it. I got it. They were trying to really air it out. Nyheim Hines is the better pass catching back. But yeah, I love what I saw from the Colts. The Bucks, they're gonna be up and down a little bit, but at the end of the year, they're gonna be right up there with the contenders. I'm not worried about the Bucks.
I think they're the second best team in the NFC.
So you think it goes Packers, Bucks? Then who are you taking, Rams or Cardinals?
Cardinals, Rams right now. But
this is
Rams.
the thing I don't get about you.
I'm very week to week.
You are very like fair weather.
You don't impress me. You're going down. I was all over the Rams. I'm not impressed by them.
So let me ask you this question: if the Patriots get blown out on Monday Night Football by the Bills, you're gonna be like, yeah, they're the 10th best team in football.
Not that I'll be off on the Patriots. I mean, they'll probably move down to like, 6 or 7 or 8 around there. But the Bills will jump up big time. If the Bills beat my second best team by a lot on Monday Night Football, yeah, they're moving up to like 2 or 3.
Right.
You'll see the power rankings for week 12 this week. We'll post those, right? We can post those.
I'm excited for that. Yeah, we'll post those.
I already got it made. I already done. And we forget about the Ravens too. We were talking before, their injuries have been very, very bad. Let's see what they do
on the Ravens right now, to be honest.
Neither am I. So
they're playing some bad football. They're just skating by.
It's going to catch up to them. It's definitely going to catch up to them. But they keep winning. They're the 1 seed in the AFC. I think the Bills are going to, the Patriots are going to be the 1 seed, but we'll see.
Yeah.
The Giants won. The Jets won.
Yeah. Victory Monday.
Nobody cares.
Literally. Like
Giants. Giants played like crap.
Yeah.
And
Jets games like the definition of 2-8 teams going at it.
Good to see your boy Wilson back. Got to see something out of him now. He's got his feet wet. He looked like crap to start the game. He kind of finished all right. You got to see he's playing. What are they playing? They're playing the Eagles. They're playing the Dolphins. You want to see a little bit more from him now as the season gets late and you're playing, lesser opponents.
My last couple closing comments on the NFL. We've been talking about it. The NFL is drunk. They really are because, especially, I think the perfect definition of the NFL is drunk. Look at the AFC West. Like, what is that division? You got the Chiefs going up and down every freaking week. You got the Chargers just don't want to proclaim themselves as a good football team for some reason.
They're not right now.
And then the Broncos are somehow 6-5. They just beat the Chargers, and the Raiders are 6-5. So, and they've been up and down, and they got guys holding guns, and obviously we know the Henry Ruggs thing. They've just had a absolute shit show, basically. But the AFC West is as drunk as a division has ever been. They might be more drunk than the NFC East of last year, in an opposite way.
In the opposite way,
yeah.
Not complete opposite though, because you got winning records, but nobody. Not like it's 10-2 and 9-3 and
the first place team could be 10-7 in that division, and the last place team could be 9-8.
Yeah,
I
think the Chiefs are gonna run away with it, but
yeah, me too. They'll figure it out.
They figured it out.
Yeah.
And very quickly, I think Dallas is going to play Thursday night against the Saints. I think Dallas has issues. I understand they got a lot of injuries right now, but they commit way too many turnovers. Turnovers. They commit way too many penalties. Penalties. They are the most penalized team in the NFL by far. They gave up almost 100. They gave up 100 yards plus in the Thursday night game against the Raiders. You got to be more disciplined. And I know it's it's such, a cliche to blame the head coach, but something's got to go on to him, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's not. Is it discipline? They're not a disciplined team. He's not going to be there Thursday night. He's got COVID. It should be a better football team. We'll see.
Updated NFL draft order. You got the Jets picking 4-5, the Giants picking 6-7, the Eagles picking 8-9. So that is 3 teams with 6 picks in a row, and the Eagles have 3 first-round picks. They also got the Colts pick. So a lot of teams with multiple first-round picks. The Lions have 2 picks. A lot of teams with multiple first-round picks this year.
Deanna, this is quick. You know that girl Deanna Ruisi on ESPN did this clip from good thing I can speak, from July 27th, 2020 from Get Up. She's talking about the Jamal Adams trade. There were many GMs and coaches that I talked to over the weekend about the Jamal Adams trade, and most, I'd say almost all, felt the Jets fleeced the Seahawks. Yeah. I think it's more. Is there a word like worse than fleeced?
I mean, 2 first-round picks for a guy who's been a below-average safety since he's been there. So,
and again, we keep saying it. Yes, terrible trade. Don't double down on it.
Right.
You double down on it by making him the highest paid safety. There was no reason to do that.
Yeah.
That's a lot. We got a lot in tonight.
It is. We did.
We even talked about the NBA. Long episode. Obviously, the baseball. I mean, we're gonna come back, and we should have all these answers with Major League Baseball. Hopefully, the lockout, which is happening, is quick. I've heard it won't be too bad. I heard on MLB Network Radio they're not going to miss any playing time, not even spring training.
Oh, I hope so.
So let's hope that's worked out. Maybe in a month it's done. We could get back to making moves and getting ready for pitchers and catchers. I'm about to go mark that day on my calendar. I just ordered a new sweatshirt because this one's a little outdated.
Yeah.
And I got to order my Max Scherzer jersey.
Let's go. Get all the gear.
Yeah, I got to get all my gear. I mean, I got my black jersey and my blue jersey and my white jersey on Blue Friday at Citi Field. So it's good to be back.
All geared up.
All geared up. All right, episode 45 in the books. We will talk to you guys next time.
Yep.